Today, the Cubs say goodbye to Arizona as they host the Seattle Mariners. And goodbye to Ho-Ho-Com Stadium, their spring training home for the past 17 years. Cubs baseball is next. Well, for the Chicago Cubs, this is game number 36 here in Arizona. Their final game in the Cactus League as they host the Seattle Mariners. We're at Ho-Ho-Com Park in Mesa. Beautiful day for Cubs baseball. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. We're going to focus in on the Cubs leadoff man, David DeJesus. And JD, I know he and the team would like him to just carry this nice hot streak into the regular season.
Yeah, why not? He's been red hot. 14-game hitting streak during which he's batting a .455 for the spring. DeJesus hitting a solid .370. This is a guy who led all National League leadoff batters and on-base percentage last year. He's a nice guy for Dale Swaim to be able to pencil into that lineup every single day, knowing you're getting a very dependable outfielder and a very solid man at the top of that lineup.
Cubs number 5 starter Carlos Villanueva will go today. Hisashi Iwakuma, who will fit in behind Felix Hernandez, will go for the Mariners. The Cubs say goodbye to this great ballpark. Ho-Ho-Com. We'll have some nice beauty shots of the park. Should be a big crowd. Gorgeous day, and we'll have the Cubs and the Mariners next. Welcome back. We're in Mesa. Partly cloudy, lots of sunshine. Temperatures right now in the upper 70s. We start an hour earlier because after this game, the Cubs will fly to Houston for exhibition games over the weekend. And how about this, JD? Eric Wedge is in midseason form. His Mariners team 20-11. They've been very good here in the Cactus League. He got ejected yesterday. He was protecting his ace, Felix Hernandez, who seemed to have an issue with a home plate umpire.
Well, you got that much money invested in a pitcher, you're going to do everything you can to protect him. Yeah, I guess the final week of spring training, managers are getting a little more intense. But that's rare. Normally you don't see a manager get ejected in a spring training game. Every once in a great while. Maybe at a tea time. Who knows?
Well, the Cubs with a win today would finish the spring at 500. At least the Cactus League portion. And we are really at the point where you just try to avoid injury. We mentioned David DeJesus hot going into this game today with a 14-game hitting streak, but with just 2 spots left open on the roster, everything's, I'd say, 99% set.
Yeah, they will continue to pay attention to the waiver wire to see what players may come available. There may be some final tweaks before opening day, but as it stands now, most decisions have been made. It's really the 2 best days in spring training are the day you report and the day you leave, unless you're left behind. If you were that bubble guy and you get sent to minor league camp the final day or two, and you watch that team bus pull away, and you're not on it. That's tough. But for the guys that are breaking camp and heading off to the big league club, this is a big day.
So the Cubs will take the field behind right-hander Carlos Villanueva. Let's check in on Eric Wedge's Mariners lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Michael Saunders will lead it off in center. Kyle Seager is at third. Kendrys Morales, their new DH. Michael Morse has hit 8 home runs so far this spring. Raul Ibanez back for his 3rd time with the Mariners. Justin Smoke at first. Jesus Montero, Robert Andino, and Brendan Ryan rounded out.
Well, let's take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. Out in the pasture, Soriano's in left, DeJesus center, Shearholz is in right field. Valbuena, a youngster over from minor league camp, Arismendi Alcantara, is playing short today. Darwin Barney at second base, Anthony Rizzo at first, Deander Navarro behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is right-hander Carlos Villanueva. Through 5 spring starts, he's 0-2 with a 4.08 earned run average. Outstanding work from Villanueva last time out. He went 6 scoreless against the Brewers, allowed 5 hits, walked 1, punched out 4. He'll be the number 5 man out of the gate for the Cubs during the regular season.
His final spring tune-up. Cubs had a late night in surprise last night. They were down early, stormed back late. 7 runs over the 8th and 9th innings combined, and played to a 10-inning tie.
3-hour and 40-minute, 10-inning, 9-9 ball game.
So Saunders will lead it off. Typically, this final game of the spring, guys are swinging early and often. We'll see if that holds up. And we're underway. Ball 1 on Saunders, who for Team Canada in 3 games went 8 for 11 in the WBC. Knocked in 7 runs. Shallow center, DeJesus coming on. So 2 pitches and 1 out.
And Villanueva, a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. And his strikeout rate was up significantly last year over 2011. But about 3 strikeouts per 9 innings better, which is significant. That's a big bump in the strikeout rate. And I think the more effective use of the slider was a real key for Villanueva. He's a guy that not going to blow you away with his heater, sit around 89, 90 miles an hour. But he moves it up and down in the strike zone, and he does have good secondary pitches.
There's Kyle Seager, no relation to Bob or Pete, different spelling. Right to Darwin Barney. That's the 2nd out.
Well, your swing early theory so far is holding true. 2 batters into the ballgame.
Well, these 2 teams have combined for 100 home runs. The Mariners with 55, so you know how baseball works. Probably won't see one, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll see 10.
And they'll hit 7 in the month of April.
Well, they've got a big ballpark, although it's been made smaller. They're moving the fences in at Safeco, and we will see them in Seattle in June in interleague play.
And they've moved in the fences, and they've added some thump to their lineup, so they expect to score a lot more runs this year than last. Mariners finished strongly, had a good second half last year, playing in that very competitive American League West.
Morales, a switch hitter. How about this? 2 pitches to each of the 3 batters, and on that 2nd pitch, Villanueva getting the out. So they go down quietly in the opening inning. The Cubs are coming up. Bit of a tour around Hohokam Park / stadium. The first Hohokam Park the Cubs played in 1979 to 96, moved in here in 1997. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. There's DeJesus, the red-hot leadoff man. Barney, Rizzo, Soriano, Sherholtz, Navarro, Valbuena. Scott Hairston is the DH, and Arismendi Alcantara is in short.
Mariners defensively. Welcome back. Raul Ibanez in left, Michael Morris in right. Michael Saunders is the center fielder. Keep an eye on Brendan Ryan. He'll do something that makes you say wow just about every game. Seager third, Andino and Smoke on the right side, and Montero is the catcher.
Sashi Iwakuma to David DeJesus, who normally is very patient, but he swings at the first offering and grounds out to first.
He got the memo. Iwakuma, as Len mentioned, is the starting pitcher. He is our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, as a matter of fact. 4 games started, 1 out of the pen. He's 2-0 with a 3.60 ERA. This is his second season in a Mariner uniform. Did nice work for them last year. First out of the pen and then moving into the rotation after a long and very successful career in Japan.
His nickname is Kuma, last 4 letters of his surname, and it means bear in Japanese. And a fastball strike on Darwin Barney.
Kuma, the big Kuma, to face off against the big Puma.
That's right. Lance Berkman, you're referring to now in Texas, as Barney singles into left.
Kuma 9-5 last year with a 3.16 ERA for the Mariners. Made 16 starts and about as many appearances out of the bullpen. This is a slider with pretty good action down. Stays on the inner half, and nice job by Barney, utilizing his lower half, going down and ripping that ball to left.
Brings up Anthony Rizzo. Be paying attention. Well, that was a late swing, and that ball was scalded.
That could have ruined somebody's afternoon. Fortunately, banged off the wall and not somebody's forehead. That's a swing when the game starts an hour earlier than normal. A little tardy there on that heater.
I think Anthony, in an exhibition game with Team Italy, hit a home run against a major league club. I want to say it was the A's. It does not have an official Cactus League home run. I don't think anybody's too worried about that as we head toward the regular season. Right on the screws, but he hit it a little too hard. Right at Saunders, the center fielder.
Can't hit it any harder than that. Right on the screws.
Now the cleanup man, Alfonso Soriano. A lot of the regulars in the lineup today. Starlin Castro away from the club for the birth of his first child and scheduled to be back with us in the next couple of days in Houston. Bell-tie fastball for a strike. Now today, I think, is the most hectic, frantic day on the baseball calendar. You may say, well, then it's a spring training game in Arizona, and it's the last one at that. Well, guys have to check out of their spring training home, their condo, their apartment, their house. In some cases, over the last few days, they've had to pack up all their clothes for the entire summer. For Steve Clevenger, your stuff was sent to Chicago, and you're not even sure you're going to be there in a few days. So it's a different time here at the end of camp. Nothing at the end of one. The best season ticket option in the city continues to be the PNC Club of Chicago. Your guests will enjoy an all-inclusive top-shelf bar and gourmet food in this high-end suite with seventh-inning stretch celebrities and former Cubs. For more information, contact the Premier sales team at 773-404-4200 or Cubs.com/Premier. Second inning, Michael Morse back with the Mariners for a second tour after being acquired from the Washington Nationals. Tied for the spring training lead with 8 home runs. He's hit 6 over his last 10 games.
It's a good pitch there. Big, strong guy who likes to get extended, covers the outside part of the plate pretty well. You have to make sure you do your due diligence inside on Michael Morse. .291 hitter last year with 18 home runs.
He's got some really good power. The Mariners, you talked about their offense. It should be much better. They did sacrifice some defense. Mariners have usually been a pretty good defensive club, but they just have decided they want to score some more runs.
And that's what happens, right? You know, you get frustrated, you pitch well, you play pretty good defense, and you don't see the reward in the one-loss column, so you have to make an adjustment. And they went out and they added some bats. Guys that maybe aren't real good defenders. Will ultimately see how it shakes out.
Deep to right. Sherholtz will watch it go. Nine home runs for Morse here in Arizona. He might not want to leave.
And that's what I was talking about when I said you have to make sure you do your work inside. You can't live in there. You can't just pitch him one way, but he does drive the ball well the other way. That was a fastball right out over the heart of the plate. So trying to go down in a way. It's outer third but up, and you really don't have to change the angle. If that ball's down, he's got to go down and get it. It's much more difficult to square that ball up.
Strike on Raul Ibanez, his third tour with the Mariners. Went after the high one and pops into center. DeJesus on the move. He's got it. And here comes another guy hitting .434. Justin Smoke. The Mariners have put up some video game-like numbers here in Arizona, slugging .523 as a team. They're 20-11, and their team ERA is .488. Tells you a lot about the run-scoring environment here.
Justice Smoke's an interesting case because he tends to do this each and every spring, but during the regular season has not been able to duplicate that performance. At one time considered really one of the top young hitting prospects in the game. He's still not an old guy. He's 26 years of age. When he first came up with the Rangers, people thought he would be a star caliber player. Hasn't happened for him yet.
That's a strike.
One and two. It's a deep count for today.
Seems like it. That looked like strike three. And our good friend Stu Sherwater said no.
Well, it's good enough for Stu. It's good enough for me. Trying to get him to bite at that curveball. Might have hung on to the inside corner.
And he gets him this time on the swing and a miss. So Villanueva with his first punch out.
Change up maybe? Something off speed.
Montero, the catcher, he got conked on the forehead on a backswing on Saturday. He came back Monday and hit a grand slam, knocked in 6 runs. I was reading he could actually feel his pulse in his forehead when he put his batting helmet on.
Wow.
2 days later.
No concussion though.
I guess not. Yeah, you occasionally see a long backswing catch the side of a catcher's head.
How about back in the day when catchers used to just wear their cap, backwards and then the mask on?
Yeah, no helmet.
Now, those guys were hardcore.
Good pitch, and he could not hold up. Montero strikes out. Morse led off the inning with a home run. The Mariners lead 1-0. Jason McLeod coming up when we come back. Back here in the bottom of the second, and great to have with us Jason McLeod, the Cubs Senior Vice President of Scouting and Player Development. It's been an interesting spring. This is the Cubs' 36th Cactus League game. You've got minor league games going on. How are you able to be in two places at once?
Well, I haven't been down on this side too often, which, you know, it's kind of sad not seeing our major league club too much. But we have we have 6 teams going on the minor league side. We've got the amateur draft, so I've been out on the weekends seeing the amateurs preparing for the draft. So it's kept me quite busy, that's for sure.
Nate Scherholtz will lead off for the Cubs, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. And we got to start with the two kids who grabbed a lot of headlines, Javier Baez and Jorge Soler. And I thought I read a quote from you about how Baez would react going down to minor league camp after being, you know, elevated, talked about, written about here in big league camp. And he hit a home run his first at bat.
Yeah, I think the experience here was great for him, not only for, you know, being around the major league club and the major league staff, but really being with some of the veteran players and learning more of the, you know, being professionalized and what you need to do to prepare every day. And so when he did come down, I think for a lot of young players it's probably disappointing. But at the same time, you know, I think Dell had a very good conversation with him and Theo and Jed about what the expectations were, and certainly we did on our side with his player plan. And you know, he took it very well and went down and, you know, like I said, hit a monster home run in his first at bat, and he's been very good ever since.
Okay, so he's drafted 2 years ago. You're not here yet. You saw him before the draft, right? Mm-hmm. You take this job, he had to be one of the first guys you thought about when you got this job.
No doubt, you know, because he had his senior year of high school, his school team was suspended, and so they had this barnstorming tour of sorts. And when I saw him, it was at a small tournament up in Tennessee, and doubleheader against a very small Christian academy, and I didn't know what I got. You know, he hit 4 home runs that day, but he was really out of control. Some swings and misses, and you know, the quote that I mentioned to Jed that afternoon, I called him. I said, man, I don't know if this guy's going to be Manny Ramirez or he doesn't get to Double-A. So I was very interested to see what Javi Baez was all about when we got here last year.
One out here in the inning.
So what do you project for him this year? Have you made the roster, the assignments yet for the minor leaguers?
We're actually meeting this afternoon to finalize the minor league rosters. But you know, I think the biggest thing with Javi is, you know, as much notoriety and attention as he's gotten, he's still yet to play a full minor league season. So for us, it's, you know, it's him going about his business on a daily basis, preparing for a 140-game season, getting 500+ at bats, and really working on some of the points of his player plan that we've gone through with him.
There's Gianna Navarro.
So the player plan, you'll sit down with a guy, and do you actually have a printed page or what he needs to work on? How does that?
We do. We focus on 3 core areas, you know, physical, fundamental, and mental, and strengths and weaknesses, and we try to turn all the weaknesses into the strengths column, and we go through it with the player, and it's more of a collaboration. It's not us just giving it to him and saying this is what you need to work on. It's really asking him questions about the plan, how he feels about it, so he has input into it, and for all of our players, so that there's more accountability on their end as well.
And the players buy in? Are they pretty good about giving you their feedback, or do they kind of just sit and take it?
Yeah, some of them, I think, you know, it depends on their communication.
For a young kid, that can be kind of a daunting situation, I would think.
Exactly. But, you know, I think it's such a constant theme, and we meet multiple times throughout the year. And more than anything, it just, you know, breeds and opens up communication with the player. And I think all of them get to a point where they understand what's in their plan. They get the sheet. They take it with them. And so when we bring them in for their second and third meetings and in the off season, they already know what's been discussed. And by that point, you're hoping the relationship and the communication makes it that much more comfortable.
Swing and a miss. That's the second out. Jason, you just talk about your comfort level. I know we've talked to Theo and Jed. Being here for a year, this is a unique situation at Wrigley Field and in Chicago. You kind of need to go through an entire calendar year to see what it's all about, don't you?
Certainly. I know for me, it was kind of like when I went to Boston that first year, and just understanding that market, the passion of the fans, how much more attention is paid to everything, not only at the major league level, but what we were doing in the draft and in the minor leagues, and certainly, you know, the fans in Chicago, the market, the media. You know, certainly you get that same sense being here.
What's the draft look like? Pretty deep draft?
Well, we're picking number 2, which obviously is big. It means we had a not so great season last year, but you know, we're really excited, and our guys are out there working very hard. You know, when you pick that high, you're really hoping to get an impact player that can significantly impact the organization for years to come. And you know, without showing our hand, you know, we do at this point have probably had 4 or 5 guys that we're really zeroing in on and getting second and third looks. And we've got a little over 2 months to go now. And, Jaron Madison, Tim Wilk, and all the guys that are out there right now, we're just pouring on information, getting as many looks as we can, not only for that first pick, but to really hopefully do damage throughout the draft.
Well, this is the highest pick you've ever had personally, correct?
Personally, this is. Last year was the highest pick I had before this year. So, you go from 6 to 2. It obviously means you're not playing as well as you'd like at the major league level, but at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to get those impact players because, one thing that the history of the draft will tell you is, that's where the impact players are going to come from is when you're picking in the top 10 picks, generally speaking. So, we're really excited about the draft and who we're going to get.
And it has to be crapshoot to a certain degree, right, when you're talking about first, and I guess every draft is different in terms of its depth, but the first 10 guys, first 15 guys in the draft, there's no guarantee that one is ultimately going to be better than number 12. I mean, that's probably the hard part of it is kind of breaking it down and trying to find, the guy. No
doubt. And, I've gotten a lot of questions. Well, you guys are picking second. That means, you should get Justin Verlander because he went second overall. And it's like, well, it's really not that easy. But, we believe in our process and gathering information and getting looks, and we think we're going to get a very good player.
Always a pleasure, Jason. It's been a fun spring. We're looking forward to the regular season. You're going to be bouncing around the system, I know, all year, but thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Taj Gibson and the Bulls head to Dallas for a showdown with Mark Cuban's Mavs. CSN's coverage begins at 12:30 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls Mavericks Saturday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Congrats to the Bulls. They snapped the Heat's 27-game winning streak last night. Robert Andino playing second. Looks at a strike 1-1. Thanks to Jason McLeod for joining us.
Busy time of the year for him, boy.
Oh, is it ever. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Mariners lead on a Michael Morse second inning home run. Your question to Jason was right on. I mean, he's going to lose sleep if he hasn't already. You know, as a scouting player development director, that ball's hit pretty well. As DeJesus will have to play that one off the wall. As he said, you know, you don't want to have the high draft pick year after year because it means your team hasn't played well, but your job is to acquire talent. And there's some pressure when you get one of those top 3 picks.
Oh, a great opportunity, yeah, to bring in an impact player. And, and it varies from year to year. Not every year is there a Steven Strasburg or a Bryce Harper available in the draft, but some years there are, and you have to be able to identify who the real difference makers are. And if you don't, you're going to hear about it for years and years and years. How could you draft Robbie Wine ahead of Roger Clemens?
Brendan Ryan takes ball 1.
But don't you think with all the advanced analytics now and biomechanics and everything else that goes with it, that it's maybe a little bit easier not to swing and miss like it was years ago?
I think so.
And all the studies that they've done of the draft.
The other issue that's not talked about probably enough among casual baseball fans is once you kind of get beyond the first 10-15 rounds, you still can find big league potential talent, but then you get into the signability issues in terms of guys who want to go to college and whether or not they will sign a professional contract. So you got to be pretty strategic in that regard. You don't just take the best player available.
You got to have those conversations now. That there's a pool of money available to the clubs now for signing their draft picks. So you have to be creative sometimes as to how you use that money.
Mariners third base coach Jeff Datz. Mike Brumley, a former Cub, across the way at first. Ryan trying to get down this bunt. However, he's worked a 3-1 count. Mariners don't expect much offense from their shortstop. Whatever you get with a bat is gravy. He's widely considered the best defensive shortstop in the game today.
Hit less than 200 last year at the big league level. And so he's kind of a throwback to Mark Belanger, some of those Eddie Brinkman, those players from years and years and years ago, just outstanding defenders. You mentioned Ray Ordonez when we were talking before the game. Guys that could really pick it, didn't bring much offensively, and there was a period of time in the game in recent seasons where you just figured this guy couldn't be a big league player. But I think now, and this goes back to sabermetrics and analytics, the value they're able to affix to a defensive player is going to allow a guy like Ryan to stay as an everyday shortstop as opposed to becoming just a defensive specialist, more of a backup type.
And really, you'd have to say, certainly in the last 50 years, the era of the shortstop was late 70s and into the 80s, right? I mean, the Trammels, Younts, Ozzie Smiths, Cal Ripkins, they kind of ruined it for the guys who couldn't hit.
Yeah, giving way to Jeter and A-Rod.
Right.
And that gang.
Next one on the way, and Ryan walks. So it looked like the Mariners were trying to give Villanueva an out, but Ryan was pretty patient and able to work a walk.
Yeah, he just walked the guy you tell yourself before the game, whatever you do, don't walk Brendan Ryan, make him hit his way aboard, but it happens.
Now back to the top and Saunders. The Cubs traveling to Seattle this year for the second time ever, June 28th through the 30th. Looking forward to it. What a great city, great ballpark. And a lot of Cub fans were there the last time we were there.
Might be able to find a cup of coffee in that town somewhere. Like every third step you take.
And some fresh fish.
Look, it's a coffee shop.
How about 2? Barney, Alcantara, and they turn it 4-6-3. That's a double play.
Saunders showed bunt initially, then he went ahead and swung away, and it pays off for the Cubs. Nice double play started by Barney. Sharply hit ground ball, kind of set things up. And nice turn by the youngster Alcantara out there at short. He's just a kid, played A-ball last year.
So Andino is at third, 2 outs.
Like what I've seen from Villanueva so far today, aside from that kind of hanging fastball he threw Morris, his fastball command has been good. Nice mix with the breaking balls, both the curve and the slider.
Pop foul back to the seats. Carlos stays from the stretch with a runner at third. Low for ball one, 1-2.
Have you checked in on the forecast in Pittsburgh lately?
The last I checked, opening day looked a little iffy. Cold and rainy.
Come on, Pittsburgh. Tighten that up a little bit.
We're counting on you.
Been waiting months for this. Good grief. The pictures will be a little different on our next telecast. Shorts and tank tops will give way to parkas and ski caps.
Well, let's see. How does a high of 42 sound?
That's good pitching weather.
Only a 30% chance of rain, though. We'll take that. High of 39 on Tuesday, which is an off day. It's going to be cold. It's going to be really cold.
Gotta love it. Builds character, Len.
Although in our broadcast booth, we are closer to the sun than we are in other places.
A little high there.
Tapped foul, still 2-2.
So they're putting up a pretty good fight here after falling behind 0-2. And Villanueva's made good pitches, too, since getting ahead of him. He's thrown a couple pitches that a lot of guys would have offered at and missed. Seager's been able to stay alive. There are the conditions here. 82 degrees, mostly sunny. The tanning index is probably about 7 today.
The kick and the pitch. He's run it full, 3-2.
Man, you can't take that pitch. Tantalizing curveball. This guy's got a good eye. At least he does in this AB. %70 chance that this ball will be fouled off.
I'd say you were right on.
I'd have to look up that number. Eric Wedge, the manager's in the middle. He was a manager of the year with Cleveland back in 07, I believe. On his left is pitching coach Carl Willis.
Three former Cubs on that staff: Mike Brumley, Dave Hansen, Jamie Navarro. Another foul. So what is the percentage or odds of a foul ball on the third 3-2 pitch?
Well, it goes down with each successive 3-2 pitch. And what happens is 3-2, the hitter's he's not going to sell out, depending on the pitcher, especially with a guy like Villanueva who changes speeds. He's not going to sell out on a fastball, so he's trying to stay back a little bit, and he might foul off a fastball, might be out in front a little bit of a breaking ball. Sooner or later, you're going to get him to commit earlier.
Ooh, that looked really good. Ball 4, second walk of the inning.
Just a good patient at bat throughout that entire sequence, and a borderline call here on 3-2. Rule book probably a strike, but one you normally don't get called. We see the catcher start to come up a little bit and frame it about belt high. Rule book, that's a strike, but most umpires aren't going to give it to you. There was a point of emphasis a couple years ago where they were trying to elevate the strike zone some, and it seemed like some umpires bought into it. They would tighten it up on the corners, but we're making it a little bigger up and down. And I thought that was good for the game. I thought it would pick up the pace of the game, you know, call more strikes, put the hitters in swing mode. And I think hitters would tell you they were okay with that because they felt like unless it was way up, it was still a pitch they could do some damage with. The one they don't like is when it's 6 inches outside and it's getting rung up. Just can't do anything with that pitch.
Now, pitch framing's a big part of it too. It's human nature for an umpire to base a strike or ball call based on how much the glove moves.
Yeah, the greatest example over the years was when Glavine used to pitch and bang away at that outside, beyond the outside corner, but the catcher would set up out there and frame it, give the umpire a good look.
Oh, 2 on Morales, acquired from the Angels for lefty Jason Vargas. There's the high one. He fouled it back.
A lot of newcomers in this Mariner lineup, and guys with pretty good track records as offensive players. Morales among them. They've also added Jason Bay, who in recent seasons has really struggled with injury problems, but in his prime a very productive hitter with the Pirates.
Well, the AL West should be a very competitive division, at least among the top 4 teams. There's Eric Wedge. He is his 7th manager for the Mariners since 2004. In the dirt, 1-2.
In the post-Lou era?
Yep.
7 managers, really, since 2004. That's a good trivia question. We might have to save that until we play the Mariners in June.
You got it.
Make a memo.
Will DeBarney moving a little bit to his right and being the wave that works around the leadoff double. Bottom 3, 1-zip M's. Are you looking for a way to make your business stand out from the competition? Host your best customers and guests in a private suite at Wrigley Field. The new Veen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, all-you-can-drink beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, go to Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Nice opportunity for Arismendi Alcantara, filling in for Starlin Castro at short today. 2 balls, no strikes. He's hitting 9th. He's only 21 years old, and he gets a hold of one out into the gap. Extra bases for Alcantara on his way to third. A triple.
How about that for the youngster? Just an exhibition game, but a big moment for this young kid. He gets out in front of that fastball and whacks it into the alley in right center.
Well, he's got some wheels. Little pop. 26 triples over his first 4 minor league seasons, but hasn't played in 100 games yet in any campaign.
The 10th best Cubs prospect, according to Baseball America.
And this is not David DeJesus.
Well, might be
Zeke DeVos.
1A being done on getaway day, it looks like.
Right field, a base hit. So the kid's coming over and tying the game. How about that?
Got to cash in that leadoff triple. Fastball that was in a little bit, moving back to the plate. He didn't quite barrel it up, but got enough of it. Found a little safe haven out there in right field. Morse playing very deep.
You hear a lot of big league pitchers when they go on rehab assignments or pitch in a B game in spring training. They don't like facing a lot of minor league hitters, and the reason they mention is that they're so aggressive. You can't set them up.
I made a rehab start my second year in the big leagues when I was pitching for the Astros, and I was pitching for the Class A team. This was like about a week into the big league season. I'd had shoulder surgery. I guess it was my 3rd year coming back from surgery, and I faced the Class A team, and they hammered me. I mean, hammered me. They hit everything I threw up there. And when I was walking off the field, I looked into the dugout and I said, man, somebody pop one up. And one kid felt so bad about it. He goes, I did. I didn't really need an answer.
That was rhetorical. Yeah. Tim Saunders swings and misses.
And not to toot my horn, but just to finish the story. And so I went up and then I made my start. And I pitched like a 2-hitter shutout against the Braves. And I could just imagine those kids in A-ball going, you kidding me? This guy was meat. But you're right, because you don't know. They're just up there swinging. You have no idea what their weaknesses are. You can't set them up. They're just hacking.
Another liner, but this one will be caught by Saunders, and DeVos able to get back. So Saunders lines out to Saunders.
Well, this scorecard is going to take a beating early today. It's going to be a challenge.
So Steve Clevenger will hit in Rizzo's spot. Again, Clevenger's place on the roster is not guaranteed just yet. But what he does know is if the Cubs don't go out and find somebody outside the organization, he will be on that April 1st roster. I mean, I guess the good news for Steve is it's out of his hands at this point. He did everything he can to make the club. The bad news is it is out of his hands, and he just has to wait for a phone call.
And that's, you know, from day one when you enter professional baseball, the message that gets drilled into you is, hey, there's only so much you can control in this game, so don't worry about that you cannot. Just go out and play, do your thing.
Runner goes as Clevenger swings and misses, and that really stung Montero.
That's the thing, you know, you hear guys, and I've talked to a lot of players who, you know, upon being released or never made it to the big leagues, and they talk about it. It's a political game. So-and-so didn't like me. That couldn't be further from the truth. This is all about performance. If you can play, sooner or later you'll get there. And the bare hand exposed there for Montero.
That was called a foul ball, so DeVos had to hit back to first.
But, you know, again, it's just all about performance at the big league level. You can't talk your way onto a club. I had a minor league teammate once told the pitching coach, hey, you got to get me up there. Told the big league pitching coach, you got to get me up there, because they were buddies. And so, I'm not going to get you up here. Go get people out.
The other part of it is many guys who have good springs and who have any sort of track record at the big league level, if they don't make a big league club, you know other teams are calling the general manager saying, is he available? And if they have to pass through waivers or exposed, if you have a really good spring, you may end up on a roster. It may not be your team's, but it may be somebody else's. Swing and a miss.
That's why you got to come ready to play every day. There's always, you know, a few sets of eyeballs on you from outside the organization that might have interest.
Dale Swaim and his former Milwaukee teammate Rob Deere, the new assistant hitting coach. The loss runs, swing and a miss. Clevenger's retired. DeVos with a stolen base, 2 outs. Now here's another kid, Alfonso Soriano. I think he's got a good chance to be good at some point. You might see him in the big leagues before you know it.
He's young, but he's raw.
I know he'd like to hit his first home run before May 15th. He hit 32 last year, 0 in the first 30 games of the season.
He's pacing himself, Len.
That sounds like it's hard to do. Like that many home runs and go the first month plus without hitting one. Only he and Dwight Evans in 1982 have had a 30-homer season without homering in the first 30 games. How about a homer? Nice timing. Soriano with his 5th of the spring, and it's 3-1.
It's interesting because Dale had been replacing all the regulars after 1AB, and I don't know if the plan was to keep Soriano in there or if he lobbied for one more at-bat. Time will tell, but a nice swing of the bat for Soriano. Especially nice since you were kind of queuing it up for him. Love the finish, big high finish. Action on the berm.
So 3-run third inning. Ty Wright is the batter for Sherholtz. This is chopped foul up along third.
Ty Wright last year at Oklahoma, or Iowa rather, hit 287. 5 home runs, 33 driven in. He also played a handful of games at AA Tennessee. 7th round pick of the Cubs in 2007 out of Oklahoma State.
Andino to end the inning. Soriano with a 2-run homer to give the Cubs the lead. They put up 3 in all. It's 3-1 after 3.
Welcome back to Hohokam Stadium. I'm Patrick Mooney with CSNChicago.com. As the Cubs get ready for opening day, they're also doing a ton of work behind the scenes getting ready for the June draft, where they have the #2 overall pick and are hoping to find their Justin Verlander. Historically, this front office has liked to take position players at the top, but right now they're really focusing hard on 3 college pitchers: Mark Appel, Sean Manaea, and Jonathan Gray. This could be one of the biggest decisions the Cubs make this year, a potentially franchise-altering one. Back to you guys.
Patrick, thanks so much. Two strikes on Michael Morse. Cranked a leadoff homer in the second. Deontay Navarro will lead off the fourth, probably be his final at bat. And a few starters today still in the game. There's Brett Jackson. Good to see him back in action. He's in right. Ty Wright is in left, just to further confuse us. Alberto Gonzalez is now at third. And as we always say, other changes to be announced as the ball is hit in their direction. Brett Jackson coming back from right shoulder inflammation. Got into a minor league game yesterday and back in the Cactus League here today. He'll start the year at AAA Iowa. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, spring training is when you get to polish that. There's a ball to the right fielder. He throws it to the second baseman, who relays it to the catcher. Details to follow.
Gonzalez to Clevenger to get Morse. Well, big news today. Adam Wainwright got a huge contract extension from the Cardinals. 5 years, $97.5 million. It'll cover 2014 through 2018. He's 31 years old. Pulled foul, just foul.
How many years is that for?
It's 5 years, but it kicks in next year.
Wow.
So he's guaranteed $109.5 million over the next 6 seasons.
It's a fair amount of risk in that deal from the Cardinals' point of view.
Yeah, he missed 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Tommy John. You'll love his makeup, though.
Right, he's such a good competitor, has good command. He has such good secondary pitches that even if as he ages, if he loses velocity, you feel like he could still be a competitive pitcher. But anytime you give that many years to a pitcher, you know, who's already in his 30s, you're worried about a breakdown. 80 and 48, his lifetime record.
Cardinals also announcing they'll wear a patch on the left sleeve of their uniforms this season to honor the late Stan Musial. And according to the AP story, they say the patch is unusual in that there's no black on the icon, or the logo rather, because of Musial's always sunny disposition. Has a red border and his number 6 in red with his signature through that number.
Is there a little harmonica in the corner? You're known to break that out from time to time.
Stan the man. And Ibanez went. Navarro will have to fire to first to complete the out. Strikeout number 3 for Villanueva. 2 outs. Without looking it up, I'm pretty sure the Mariners play the Brewers this year, and I'm really looking forward to the Mike Fiers Justin Smoke matchup.
Bet we couldn't throw Tim Raines in there.
Scott Air.
So you're going with the all element team.
Any Adam would work too, I guess.
67 pitches for Villanueva. Building on a very good start last time out.
Tim Saunders with a short throw. And a 1-2-3 inning for Villanueva, the second of the day. 3-1 Cubs. Back here at Hohokam, long known as Hohokam Park. You can say stadium. You can just say Hohokam. With the Cubs playing their final home game here before moving into their brand new park next year. The first game the Cubs played in this facility was against the Mariners on February 28, 1997. Jason Bay is now playing right. Endy Chavez now playing left. And that is Nate Tenbrink at first. Deanna Navarro pops it up. This will get back out of play. The Cubs starting pitcher in that game I mentioned was Turk Wendell.
Oh, Turk Wendell. What a beauty he was.
Ryan Sandberg and Sammy Sosa each hit home runs for the Cubs that day. Unfortunately, the Cubs started the regular season that year 0-14. So memorable spring, not so memorable regular season.
Look out. Yes, sir. Whew. And 0-14, that's a tough way to start the season. You come out of spring training, even if you're not expected to do well, everybody always leaves with a sense of optimism that, hey, we could surprise people, we could be better than people think, and then you start 0-14 and just kick in the gut. It's like making a snowman on the first hole. You know, you get off the range, you're feeling good, and you go up and get a couple balls out of bounds, then you got to write that 8 down on the scorecard.
Cubs went 68-94 that year under Jim Riggleman, but they won 90 games, made the playoffs in 98. So Navarro will get a new bat.
Nobody up in the Cub bullpen, so it looks like Villanueva will probably go one more inning. And that may be why Navarro is staying in the game. He'll catch Villanueva's entire outing, perhaps.
Well, that is a rendering of what the new spring training and Arizona facility will look like. A couple of miles from here, right off the 202 and the 101. It will have a Wrigley Field to it, as you can see with the dimensions. Those wells and left and right. And we can't wait. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
And obviously, Wrigley's such an iconic ballpark, and it's so it's neat to build a stadium that replicates it in a lot of different ways. But that makes sense for every team to, why not practice in spring training on a field that mimics what you play on in the regular season? Especially if you have any funkiness to your ballpark.
Right. Now the dimensions will be deeper for obvious reasons with the thinner air here. 368 to the gap in left center probably won't cut it.
No, that wouldn't work. You'd have to put giant fans in the outfield blowing back in towards home plate.
Swing and a miss on a really good breaking ball. 0-2 the count. Well, the Cubs may face Iwakuma in June. You never know. That's the other thing about interleague play. I mean, you play 162 games. You've got 3 against the Mariners. What are the odds you're going to avoid Felix Hernandez? I mean, that's the goal. It's not necessarily who you play. It's when you face him. And every team would like to avoid facing King Felix. Doesn't mean you're going to sweep the series, but
yeah, and, obviously there are advantages to interleague play in terms of fan interest. It tends to draw well, and it's been a good moneymaker for the clubs. But it does create some imbalances in the schedule. Some of the purity of the baseball schedule has been affected by interleague play, no doubt about it.
Swing and a miss. He got him. I wonder how difficult it is for hitters to face guys like Iwakuma, and a lot of Japanese pitchers from the windup. They have a little hitch, so they get rid of the ball maybe a half a second later than most other pitchers.
Well, yeah, it's interesting how universal that seems to be. Just about every pitcher that comes over from Japan has that similar hesitation at the top of their delivery. Right there, a little hold it and go. Who was the guy years ago? Tom Brennan, the Flamingo. He would get there and he would stay there like for a 3 count before he'd come home.
And really 2 pauses in that windup. Lillibridge swings and misses 0-2.
Yeah, and if you're really athletic and you have great balance, you could kind of alter your timing on that. You could hold it a little longer before going. Literally a change of pace.
And the breaking ball, very good pitch in that inning for Iwakuma. He gets Lillibridge on the ground out. We'll head to the 5th. Cubs leading 3-1.
Opening week is finally here. Watch Edwin Jackson's debut in Cubby Blue as he tries to mow down Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates. Join us here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the Cubs and Pirates square off live from PNC Park. Cubs Pirates Wednesday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Can't wait. We're playing games that count in the standings.
Great day here in Mesa as the Cubs say goodbye to Hohokam Park. Jesus Montero struck out in the 2nd. Takes a slider low and outside.
Montero, top hitting prospect for the Yankees before being traded over here to the Mariners. Michael Pineda deal. High expectations for him as he develops. Still a young guy. Swings and misses a fair bit. He's got a lot of potential. Needs to polish things up defensively. But looks like he's going to be a pretty good major league hitter.
Up in the air to right for Jackson. I don't know if you've been following the story about Major League Baseball possibly looking for a padded insert for pitchers in their caps, and it sounds like nothing will happen this year necessarily. Is that something that you think will happen eventually and that you'd be comfortable wearing?
I don't know. I haven't tried on any prototypes. I guess if it was comfortable and the dorkiness factor wasn't too high,
right,
you know, I'd be on board with it.
Did you ever take a comebacker off the noggin?
No, I did not. I took comebackers off various parts of my body. You know, I used to finish kind of turned a little bit sideways, and so when it was coming back at me, I just keep on going. So I gave up the backside a lot, which was a fairly significant target. Gracie got me one time in the lower back that I recall to this day. Dale Murphy hit me on the backside, and I had a bruise there for about a month. But I was fortunate. Yeah, I never got anything up off the head.
And Brandon McCarthy coming back after getting hit last year. Remember Chris Young took the Albert Pujols liner a few years ago. That was an ugly one. Two and two on Andino. He doubled in the third. Andino came over from the Orioles, also a former Marlin. Deep breath. Villanueva ready for a payoff delivery, and it's flared into right, and a base hit. Well, we mentioned Brendan Ryan, arguably the best defensive shortstop in the game today. We saw Darwin Barney earlier, arguably the best defensive second baseman. So you see their defensive WAR numbers from last year. So they tied atop the Major League leaderboard. So their defense was basically worth 3.5 wins above replacement. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, and that goes, you know, goes to the point we were talking about earlier with guys like Ryan, and to a certain extent Barney, but Barney brings a little bit more to the table offensively than Brendan Ryan does, because it's easier to quantify. And there, you know, a lot of people have questions about some of the defensive metrics that are out there, but bottom line is they are finding a way to quantify defense and finding value, as opposed to what you see with your eyes and what these guys do, the runs they prevent.
Not a good throw by Saunders. Instead of taking the sure out, he was trying to get the lead man, and nobody out on the play.
Yeah, if he had to do it all over again, I imagine he would have just flipped this ball to first base and settled for the out at first. It wasn't an impossible play to make, but it was going to be a difficult play with the throwing angle. Got a 3-1 lead regular season. I think if you're on the big league club after the inning, the manager would say, you know, let's prevent the big inning here. Let's just clean it up, get it out, and move on.
Michael Saunders pops into left. Long run, and it's going to drop foul. Alcantara had a long journey to get there. Ty Wright coming over from left.
So to finish the point on Ryan and Barney, you know, it used to be back in the day, whether it was a Ray Ordonez type, Rafael Belliard, you may recall, Belliard was a great defender. So there was always the debate, can we afford to play this guy every day? And it was very difficult to quantify. You just know when you watch him play, he caught everything. They made all the plays for you. But there was always that kind of hesitancy. He just doesn't bring enough to the table, so you're always looking to replace him. Now, with the stats saying, this guy saves us a bunch of runs, you can kind of start to do the math and say, well, if he saves us this many runs, for him to come out of the lineup, we better find a significant upgrade offensively and a guy that can at least hold his own defensively.
And then to take it further, now you're an agent trying to sell defense as you look to get your client a raise. Yeah, he hit under 200, but
yeah, and the game, the front offices now are all populated with really smart guys who are on some level are involved in the analytics and buy into it, some more so than others. But it would be fun to see that conversation with an old school GM from back in the day with an agent in there going, hey, you got to look at this guy's UZR and his defensive run saved. And you can just see the, guy like Dick Wagner or something just turning purple. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, Mario Mendoza, Dal Maxville. I think you mentioned Eddie Brinkman. It's going in the way back machine.
Yeah, Roger Metzger down in Houston. And that player kind of disappeared for a while because of the emphasis on offense and the inability to quantify defense. Everybody was chasing the next big run producer, as a middle infielder. And actually, because of the game, too, with all the power in the game, whether it was PEDs or whatever, balls are flying out of the ballpark, you had to outscore people. Now the game is shifting back where defense and speed have more value.
And a chance here for Saunders. With 2 outs, he'll get Saunders. Whether with 1 out, now 2 outs.
And frankly, I think it's a more entertaining game. I like the defense and the speed that's kind of come into the game in recent years, and the emphasis on that part of the game.
I think there are more cases today than there were 10 years ago where you could actually say a sac bunt is a good play. Later in the game, but when you're looking for 1 run instead of 3.
Right, you're not just sitting back trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. There was a time there where it started to look like slow pitch softball. Teams would just sit back and just launch. Power's not going to go away. Still, obviously, a very important part of the game. But I think fans enjoy a 3-2 game late where every base, every out is so important.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. It's like this will be the final inning for Villanueva as he nears 90 pitches. Hisanori Takahashi getting loose in the Cubs bullpen. That will be a base hit, and the Mariners will tie it up. Kyle Seager with an opposite field double. Boy, Wright had all kinds of trouble digging that baseball out. It may have gotten stuck in the padding along the sidewall.
Just an unfortunate turn of events here for Villanueva, because he gets in there pretty good with a fastball, just leaks a little bit out over the plate. It's up, kind of ties him up, but he just squirts it down the left field line. You see the linesman up on the boards there trying to stay out of the way of the puck, but and Wright's trying to find the base runner and the ball at the same time.
Now Morales off the end of the bat, short center, sliding grab by DeVos to end the inning. Mariners tie it up on the double by Seager. It's 3-3. Want to hear the stories about legendary Wrigley Field from the players who lived them firsthand? Now you have the chance with a living legend tour of Wrigley Field. Take a tour led by former Cub greats through the friendly confines. For more information or to purchase tickets, call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit Cubs.com/tours. Here's right-hander Cameron Lowe. First reliever for either team today.
Cameron Lowe, big righty, 6'8", 250 thereabouts. In 8 ball games this spring. He's 1-0 with a 180 earned run average. Look at the punch-outs, 15 strikeouts, just 2 walks in 10 innings of work. Throughout his big league career, he's been thought of as more of a ground ball type pitcher than a power guy. He's a big man, but he's not overpowering. Fastball probably a little tick or so below average in terms of velocity, but he's got good sink.
Yeah, with a name like Lowe, you got to be a sinker baller.
Pretty good curveball to complement it. Occasional slider and changeup, but mostly you're going to see sinker curveball from Cameron Lowe.
Alcantara with a leadoff triple in the third, and he scored the tying run and takes ball 1.
I don't know if he still has it, but for a time Cameron Lowe had a pet python.
There's a throw by Seager. They try to put a little extra mustard on it to get the speedy Alcantara.
Well, Lowe does what he does best, gets a ground ball from Alcantara. Seager has to drift a little bit towards the line and doesn't have a whole lot of time. Good strong throw to get his man.
Yeah, the snake you're referring to, I believe, was named Angel, and he gave the pet to a Rangers season ticket holder when he went to pitch in Japan about 4 years ago. Would you ever be interested in having a python or boa constrictor or some animal that could kill you in 3 seconds?
I had to kind of get my courage up to get the Cocker Spaniel that we had.
Well, you often hear, a lion is on the loose in some small town, and you're thinking, okay, why would somebody own a pet lion in the first place? Seems like you're asking for trouble. That's just me.
And aren't there parts of Florida are teeming with like snakes that were pets that people just said, well, this thing's getting too big, and you just let it loose, and they're roaming all over the place.
Oh yeah, you and I grew up swimming in lakes in the Midwest and upstate New York. You don't swim in lakes in Florida.
No.
Louisiana.
A high chopper over the mound.
You're kind of like David DeJesus. You got to save some of this for the regular season.
Can't pass up a helicopter. You never know when you're going to get one again.
Bounced foul. Time now for our Menards Big Lumber Stat. We go back to that Cubs Hohokam Park debut, 1997. One Hall of Famer and one not sure if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Hit home runs in that game. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Zeke DeVos was originally drafted by the Red Sox out of high school and then by the Cubs out of the University of Miami back in 2011, third-round pick. Played at Peoria last year. 249 batting average, but 382 on base percentage. Gotta like that. Walked 82 times. Stole 35 bags.
Well, it behooves us. It's certainly on us, and I know a lot of Cub fans out there do their homework, but not just to focus on the Javier Baez's and Jorge Soler's of the Cubs minor league system. A lot of other guys who are very intriguing. Swing and a miss. Strike three.
Well, we had that conversation when we had Theo on here a week or so ago with us, and we were talking about nature versus nurture in terms of young players, and can you teach them to become more disciplined? Obviously, that's the goal with a guy like Baez, tremendous power, but goes outside of the zone too frequently, so you need to become a little bit more selective. So it's nice to be able to get a kid like DeVos, at least looking at these numbers. It seems like that part of his game he's got a pretty good handle on. If he walked 82 times in a minor league season, he's got a pretty good clue about the strike zone. So you know the ones that you have that are raw, that have that ability, you try to nurture, and then you draft kids that are already there and hope that they can develop the skill set to propel them to the big leagues. Power, speed, what have you. Takahashi taking a blow. Looks like he's ready to crank it up.
He's still uncertain of his fate over the next 3 or 4 days. At this point, it looks like he'll be in the bullpen, or it'll be somebody from outside the organization. Cubs did bring in Guillermo Moscoso yesterday. It'll probably be the left-hander Takahashi or a player to be named later. Three balls and a strike on Saunders. Grounded into center for a base hit. That'll keep the inning alive.
Good solid swing of the bat there. 2-out single by Saunders. Just going right back up the middle with this sinker. Yeah, it's funny, the fate of these players, at least the short term, the near term fate as to whether they make this club at this particular time or not. So many factors involved, obviously, throughout the weeks of spring training, their performance versus the guys they're in camp competing with. But again, all the other clubs with the roster moves that they make, all of a sudden somebody may come available that you didn't anticipate. Maybe there's an injury somewhere else, and that club comes calling and says, we have a need. What do you need? And Jed or Theo say, hey, we need a bullpen arm. Who do you have? And all of a sudden that guy is on your club and Takahashi is not. It's kind of a precarious time for those guys on the bubble. You just keep walking. You get on the team bus, you get on the flight, and you just hope nobody taps you on the shoulder and says, we need to talk.
And the other part of it is it's still fluid once the season starts. So whatever that 25-man roster looks like Monday, it won't stay that way for very long. Runner goes, and Saunders will get the bag without a throw as Montero dropped the pitch.
I'm trying to be quick, cannot make the exchange from glove to throwing hand cleanly. Saunders appeared to have a pretty good jump. He was going to be tough to get anyway.
Montero boxes this one, and Saunders will get third on a pass ball. Well, I think Jesus is ready for the regular season. It's just decided. Let's go. Let's play for real.
Mishandle on the stolen base. Now it clanks this one.
Back up Andino, and he makes the play. 5 in the books. 3-3 Mariners and Cubs from Ho-Ho-Kam Park. Ernie Banks and Ryan Sandberg go for Chicago's best prime steaks. Harry Carey's legendary Italian steakhouse in Chicago, Lombard, and Rosemont. For reservations, go to harrycareys.com or call 773. Holy cow. Some great shots of photos of Harry in the classic Ho-Ho-Kam room. And we get our pregame meal. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They stepped it up in there today.
They did.
Solid effort.
One to Jason Bay. And 2 bounces. It gets past Gonzalez. And into left.
That'll be an E5 bounding ball with little topspin as Bay rolls over on that high pitch. Looks like a fastball up and really gets that top hand over the top instead of driving through it, but he gets away with it because of the misplay. And usually when you see an infielder start to retreat, bad things happen.
So that'll be it for the start of Villanueva. Takahashi coming on in a 3-3 tie in the 6th. on Carlos Villanueva. A couple of unearned runs in the 5th inning tied the ball game. Hisanori Takahashi.
It's a nice spring as he battles for this last bullpen spot. And if he makes it, he will be the second left-hander out there in the pen for Dale Swaim to call upon. James Russell entrenched in his role. And I think this was a situation, regardless of the outcome with Bays at bat, Villanueva was just going to face one man in this inning. Bring Takahashi in here to face the left-handed hitting Chavez, kind of put him in a game situation, come in out of the pen during an inning with a left-handed batter due up.
Indy Chavez. Shows bunt, takes fastball high at 85. This is dumped foul. We'll see the Astros this weekend. Small payroll as they're in a rebuild mode. Eric Bedard and Brad Peacock will make their rotation. So their 5 are set. Bud Norris, Lucas Harrell, Phil Umber, Peacock, and Bedard. Astros open against Texas Sunday night.
Bud Norris gets the opening day start for the Astros. Yeah, Phil Umber of the Chicago White Sox perfect game. Kind of went downhill for Phil after that. Not kinda, really did. Got a chance to get a fresh start in Houston.
They got Peacock from Oakland over the winter.
And the Jed Lowry deal.
And they've got new uniforms. The Astros going back to their classic blue and orange color scheme. I think most people are happy about that, right?
I think so, yeah. People in Houston were very receptive to the move back to the original colors. Kind of a updated retro, if that makes any sense. Old colors, but a little bit different look.
So what time's the parade tomorrow? Oh, sorry. The cat's out of the bag. I thought that was a surprise. Oh, I'm sure it'll be nice for you to catch up with your family and some old friends before we start.
Yeah, it'd be nice to pass through there on our way. Yep. Get to do some laundry, you know. We got to kind of reset things here.
One and two.
You can only get so much done in that hotel bathtub. You know, the rinse cycle there is problematic.
And they have Bay picked off. They got him. 1-3 to 6.
Well, Bay back in his day was a guy who could do a little bit of everything. Hit for average, hit for power. Good outfielder, and he could steal a bag for you. Here he's just going on first move, and unfortunately for him, that first move led to a throw to first base by Takahashi.
Interesting situation developing with the Tigers. Bruce Rondon has been optioned to AAA, so they don't have a closer going into the season. Remember, they let Jose Valverde walk away in free agency. So Jim Leyland has said that any of his 7 relievers could possibly be used in a closing situation.
I like it. I think it's going to be fun to watch, and I think you're going to see teams, if the Tigers have success, start to kind of tweak their bullpen situations a little bit as well.
Well, and he's great at handling a bullpen. I mean, I think this is something that he'll handle very well. And a lot of times, you know, I would say 100% of the time, when you don't have a closer, it's something that sounds bad, but there are opportunities there.
Yeah. You know, the idea is to get 27 outs and end up with more runs than the other club has. So, you know, I think if you have multiple guys that you can use in late inning situations and you have some flexibility, you know, the situation might call for a lefty to come in to get a big out in the 8th inning, and then he may do that today, but 2 days later he might be your closer, because as you watch the game unfold, a big left-handed bat is likely to come up in the 9th, so you're going to, you know, hold him back and use him in that situation. The idea of your 9th inning guy, and you're going to use him every time there's a safe situation because that is his defined role, I think is a mistake. And I'm not, you know, easy to say from up here, tougher when you're down in that dugout, because it's easier for the manager to say, this guy does this job, this guy does that job, and it's on him and not me, because that's just the way we're playing the game. And that's why everybody has been playing the game. But I think there's, you know, I think there's room there where clubs can make some adjustments and gain an edge, and that's really what it's all about.
Fly ball, center field. Nate Tenbrink flies out to Zeke DeVos to end the inning. Last of the 6th coming up in a 3-3 tie. Here at Ho-Ho-Com Park, and it is time to play ball. Get to Wrigley Field this season to see the Cubs in action. Single game tickets are available for the 2013 season, including opening day April 8th against the Brewers. So get your tickets now for the hottest games at Cubs.com, 1-800-THE-CUBS, or go to the Wrigley Field box office. Three is our score as Brett Jackson will lead off for the Cubs in the 6th. Cub fans will notice Jackson's hands are a little bit lower as he gets ready to hit. Way too many strikeouts last year. He struggled at the big league level, but pretty big overhaul mechanically. And I think the blueprint, and this may be expecting too much, but the Jackson makes the adjustments Anthony Rizzo did last year. And man, would that be great if he could come back and be the guy we think he's going to be in the big leagues?
Yeah, there's a lot of upside there. They find a way to make consistent contact.
Terrific athlete, good outfielder. Got a lot of power, runs well. He's just got to get the bat on the ball more often. And a good eye. Here's Ty Wright.
I love him. I love him.
Called strike one. Well, we'll see. The Cardinals a lot this year, so I can use this in the regular season. But I think it's fun to note. We've got Ty Wright at the plate. Did you know that in 2002, Ty Wigginton, August 4th of that season, hit his first career homer. He became the first Ty to tie a game with his first home run since Ty Tyson in 1926.
Wow.
As Ty Wright flies out, Jackson tagging, and he's safe at second. Good aggressive base running there. An assist from Dave McKay.
Yeah, you know, this is something Dave McKay has emphasized with his base runners. Deep fly balls, major league outfielders are going to track it down and make the play a high percentage of the time. So instead of going halfway, if you realize it's going to be caught, scramble back, tag, and then get yourself into scoring position. And Jackson was a little late getting back, but because it was such a deep drive and such a long throw from center field, he was able to beat that into second base.
Navarro's still in there. He has struck out twice.
That ball, though, was more difficult to read than some others because it was so deep. So Ty Wigginton tied the game.
It was the first tie to tie a game with his first home run since 1926. Yeah. Who in the world found that note? I have no idea. But they have a lot of time on their hands.
Sounds like a Timmy Kirkjian, Jason Stark maybe did some digging.
Yeah. I think Ty Wigginton's ready for the regular season to start and get out of Florida. He's 6 for 50. 120 average.
He will be very quick to point out the spring training statistics don't matter. The guy's hitting 430 will tell you, yeah, it matters. I'm locked in. Means I'm going to have a big year.
Ground ball to third. Brad Miller now playing there, and Jackson's going to try to advance, and he's going to score the go-ahead run. A base running clinic for Brett Jackson in this inning. Can we say the Cubs stole a run?
Yeah, in an unconventional way, gets second base on a deep fly ball to center field, and now heads for third on this ground ball to the third baseman, Miller, and comes home on the errant throw. Miller probably had enough time to force him to go back to the bag a little bit more aggressively and would have negated any opportunity for him to advance.
Alberto Gonzalez flies out to Brendan Ryan out in shallow left field. The Cubs get the go-ahead run. It's 4-3. The top two teams in the West battle for bragging rights and for the #1 seed. Blackhawks-Ducks rematch tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. And don't miss Blackhawks Morning Skate live before the game tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. on CSN and ChicagoBlackhawks.com. Kelly Shopik came into the game to catch, swings at a changeup and misses. 7th inning, 4-3 Cubs. Oh, look out. There's the bat. Keep on walking.
Just keep on going.
What did you say about you make the team, you get on the plane, you just keep on walking, hopefully nobody taps you on the shoulder?
Excuse me, sir. Shopik would like his bat back. Excalibur. He's making a run for it. Don't look back. Don't look back. That's spring training. You know, hitters in the regular season, they get more tied to their gamer. They're going to let him. They're going to let him go. Apparently.
Well, normally what happens when the bat is intact, the team asks for it back from the fan. Everybody boos, and then within the next 35 seconds, somebody hands him another bat, and then they cheer. Jackson makes the catch. That is the one good thing about them outlawing the fake to third, throw to first is we won't have to worry about fans yelling balk.
The balk, yeah.
And when they do, they'll be right.
Maybe that's what it was all these years. It was the fans just saying, come on, MLB, that's a balk. You have to realize it.
So, yeah, so maybe the fans we're saying we know it's not a balk, but it should be.
It should be a balk.
Yeah. 61-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Really feathered that one in there and just missed. Good heater coming off that 61-mile-an-hour. That 87 on the knees looks like 94. Second inning of work for Takahashi. Putnam and Camp also scheduled to work this afternoon.
Raced in to left. Robert Andino's 3 out of 3.
Well, Takahashi made 2 good pitches to start the sequence and then threw a hanging belt high slider, and Andino made him pay the price. Probably the biggest difference between pitching at the big league level and the minor league level. Just you get away with fewer mistakes up here, and they tend to go further.
Takahashi came to the big leagues on actually a minor league deal prior to 2010 with the Mets. Oh, 0-2. Takahashi had spent the previous decade pitching for the Yomiuri Giants, and his teammate for part of that time was Hideki Matsui. Long pause. Now the 0-2 is outside. Matsui, by the way, retired in late December.
Godzilla had a nice career.
Yeah, he did. His first 3 years in the big leagues, he played not only every game, but he played 163 games for the Yankees in 2003. Four times knocked in over 100 runs. This is pretty deep. And right has it. Long fly out for Brendan Ryan. Takahashi ready, and the pitch to Michael Saunders is in there for a strike.
Takahashi, a guy, because of his off-speed pitches, really has been better against right-handed hitters. He gets them to chase that changeup, sticking down and away. If you're looking for the prototypical left-handed specialist, he's really not your guy. Doesn't have that dominant breaking ball, doesn't just intimidate left-handed hitters, but you know what he does do, he's a guy who can give you a couple innings. And also, if a manager opts to pinch hit for a lefty with a righty, you know, he still stays, you can keep him in there. You don't have to make another move to the bullpen because he does compete well against right-handed hitters.
back out of play. Today's attendance 11,635.
There have been some great crowds here at the ballpark in recent days. Cub fans getting an opportunity, the folks that live down here in Phoenix, to see the Cubs one last time before they head out.
Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. The all-time Ho-Ho-Com Stadium attendance, as reported by Nancy Hunter, the ticket guru, 2.61 million. 4-3 Cubs. Ever dream about having dinner with a Cubs player? Here is your chance. Join Cubs players, coaches, alumni, owners, and management at Navy Pier's Grand Ballroom on Thursday, April 11th. Your ticket includes dinner, cocktails, a premium silent and live auction, as well as entertainment for the evening. All proceeds from the event benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/bricks-and-ivy. The Bricks and Ivy ball, always a wonderful event in the first homestand.
You're going to be jamming that night? You're going to be playing?
Not that I know of.
No?
You know something I don't?
No, I just, I'm anxious to watch it go, man.
Well, if I do, you're involved somehow.
Well, I don't know.
Can you play?
I can't play anything.
Cowbell even? Every song needs more cowbell.
Maybe some cowbell. Spoons, maybe some spoons.
Lucas Lutke is now on for the Mariners against Dave Chappelle. Actually pronounced Litge. Lucas Litge. L-U-E-T-G-E.
You see, Major League Baseball has come up with a new award, the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award, which will be given each year to a major leaguer and Hall of Famer who displays good character, assists those less fortunate, supports U.S. servicemen and women, and conducts himself with dignity on and off the field.
Well, that's great.
And the U.S. Navy will give a companion award to one service member. Feller, of course, serving in the Navy as parts of 4 seasons. Still managed to win 260-plus ball games.
Backhanded play by Mills. He gets it, rather Miller. Brad Mills. Brad Miller. A couple of Brad Mills
floating around this game.
Yeah, big league coach, left-handed pitcher. Miller. Brad Miller. Our first mistake all spring.
Hey, good to get out of the way early.
Took a month, but Alcantara down the left field line. Just foul.
Wow.
Really almost hit a home run there. Ball kept on carrying.
Put a charge in that ball his first time up for a 3-base hit, and this time a bid for a home run. Taking full advantage of this opportunity to play in a big league game. Just misses.
In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. I want to thank the fine folks from Chucky's here at the ballpark for that great Iowa pork tenderloin sandwich. Everybody on the crew downed very quickly.
Yeah, it was a nice side dish with the pork burrito they were serving down there in the ho-ho room. It's like swine day.
Three and 1. Here it is. Ball 4.
Good job.
Unieski Betancourt's back with the Brewers. Yesterday signed a 1-year contract after being released by the Phillies.
Here the Brewers have already got Kyle Ocean in game action. He's pitching today. So his long journey of unemployment ends, and now I guess Jose Valverde, he's still unemployed, isn't he?
So far, Loesch 3 innings, 1 run against the Rockies, and he's still working. I don't begrudge any player for getting as much money as he possibly can, but I do find some of the incentives kind of funny. As Alcantara will get second base. Might have been a delayed steal. I'm not quite sure he waited till that ball hit the dirt.
Key is getting the good secondary lead so he could take advantage of the ball in the dirt. So you see him shuffling off. And
he went when it was in the dirt.
Yeah,
boy, he broke immediately.
Yeah, good read. It's nice to see, too, because a lot of times you take a young kid, you put him in a big league spring training game, he's going to be a little bit tentative.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 to get DeVos. Yeah, I see Adam Wainwright. I mentioned all that money he's getting. He's going to get $500,000 every time he's in the top 10 in the Cy Young Award voting.
And you could argue
if you give him that much money, shouldn't he?
Exactly.
They should take away $500,000 if he's not. And again, this is not against Adam Wainwright.
Sure. Yeah. If you're the player, you're going to take it. You're not going to say you're not going to turn that down.
And another Cub advancing, and another wild pitch. Here's $97.5 million, and here's another $500,000 for finishing 9th in the Cy Young.
Again, good aggressive heads-up base running by Alcantara to take advantage of that ball in the dirt.
Wasn't it Mike Hampton who worked into his deal an incentive clause if he were the MVP of the division series when no such thing existed?
Is that right?
Now we're going to give you $900 million if you're the MVP of the division series, but it doesn't exist. Tonight, don't miss Sports Talk Live with host David Kaplan from opening day to the Red Hot Blackhawks and everything in between. No topic off limits for Cap and the crew. And Steve Stone will be in studio tonight. Sports Talk Live presented by Smirnoff at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Oh my.
I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Where were we? 4-3 Cubs here in the 8th.
Hey, there's Brad Miller. Takahashi's earning his keep today. He's out there for the 3rd inning.
Clevenger coming in from first. Surprised I didn't see Steve try to throw off his imaginary mask before making that catch. Oh, you don't have to rub it in, sir.
Probably thinks he just won the Super Bowl.
Change up. This is Jesus Sucre.
S-U-C-R-E? Would that be sugar? Does that translate to sugar?
Sure. That sounds right. Yes. Off the end of the bat, soft liner is going to drop down for a base hit.
Yeah, not a bad pitch. He had to work to go down and get it, but a good swing of the bat there by Sucre to deliver this 1-out knock. Mariners now have the tying man aboard, top half of the 8th. You see, target set up down and away. Takahashi. Sometimes you make your pitch and the other guy just bests you. Tip your hat. So, nice job, Sucre. Just don't make a habit out of it.
Jason Bay signed with the Mariners as a free agent in December, about a month after negotiating the early expiration of his deal with the Mets. You mentioned his tenure did not go well there. 4-year deal, $66 million, but he hit just .234 over the first 3 years. Averaged fewer than 100 games per year due to injuries.
Yeah. Concussion issues, among other things. So now he'll become a part-time player for the Mariners. There was some speculation as to whether he would make this club or not, but apparently he will.
And a base hit. And Sucre able to make it a hit by reaching second.
Well, neither one of those balls hit very hard at all. Sucre punches one to right, and now Bay just lofts this one to left field. But bottom line is the Mariners have 2 on and just 1 out.
The other part of that deal by Bay ending his contract a year early, the Mets were able to defer some of the money owed to him to close out his contract, so he gets that fresh start with the Mariners, still gets his money, and the Mets don't have to pay all of his salary so quickly. But the deferred money thing is kind of a hidden thing in sports, and the Cubs have dealt with this in the past. I think the most infamous story along those lines is still continuing. Bobby Bonilla
still getting paid.
Yeah, he gets over $1 million per year over a 25-year period that started 2 years ago. They agreed to that in 2000. How about that?
Pretty sweet deal, isn't it?
They deferred about $6 million owed to him in the final year of his deal, and with interest it's going to be about $30 million according to the Wall Street Journal. And he gets $500,000 per year from deferred payments with the Orioles through 2015.
It's good work by the agent. Bobby Bonilla is, speaking of agent, he's currently employed by the Major League Baseball Players Association. Has been, I think, since he retired from baseball, from his playing days.
Chavez pops into center. DeVos for out number 2. So if you do the math, in 2032, you look at the Mets payroll and what they're really spending. Bobby Bonilla, I guess, could be on that list.
Yeah, and if the ownership changes hands, right, then the new guy's like, what are you doing saddling me with this?
Tough. Well, Bobby just turned 50. So when he's in his 70s, he'll still be getting paid as a player. One on Nate Tenbrink. Tenbrink has not advanced past Double-A to this point in his first 5 pro seasons. Swing and a miss. Good curveball from Takahashi.
Good tight rotation, takes a lot off that breaking pitch, and Tenbrink way out in front looking to pull.
You see the tying run in the scoring position with 2 outs. And a base hit. Sucre around third. Brett Jackson up with it. The throw's cut off by Clevenger. We're tied at 4.
Early in the ball game, when the everyday players, the veterans, were in there, the at-bats were going pretty quick. Guys were in the let's get out of town mode. Now these younger players are putting up more of a fight, working longer counts. Takahashi goes back to the breaking ball. This one not quite as sharp as the previous one. Stays in the zone and up a little bit. And Tenbrink delivers the run-scoring single.
So we're back to even. Here's Shopik with runners at the corners.
Takahashi with a good pickoff move. You have to be careful in this situation going to first base as a left-hander. If you try to cheat with that front leg, you either break the plane or you step too far towards home plate. Umpire might call a balk on you, and that'd be a cheap run to give up. This stage of the ball game, the Mariners are not going to be too adventurous with that runner on first base with a potential winning run down there at third. You wouldn't think.
And the Mariners now have the lead. That's a fair ball. It's going to kick off that diagonal sidewall, and they'll get a couple of runs as Tenbrink goes first to home on a double by Kelly Shopik.
A big inning here for the Mariners. It's not like they're tearing the cover off the ball from Takahashi. This is a changeup or a little sinker down. He has him out in front of it a little bit, but still able to hit it hard enough into the corner. 2 more runs come home. Takahashi, he's working hard here this afternoon. He'll have the weekend off in Houston, having thrown 43 pitches already here this afternoon.
4 hits in the inning. 2 run-scoring hits with 2 outs. And Andino has not yet made an out. Speaking of not making outs, Chris Getz of the Kansas City Royals last night against the Cubs went 6 for 6.
Pretty good day. Yeah. Double, triple, 4 singles for Getz. Just bad timing. If he did it a week from now, he'd be all over the highlight shows.
The 9-inning record is 6 hits, although I think he did it in 10.
I believe Rennie Stennett had 6 hits in ball game.
I think he might have
7,
but it might have also been extra innings. Yeah, I think the 9-inning record, I want to say Omar Vizquel shares it. Outside, 2-2.
Shooting for that outside edge. Awfully close. relief pitchers generally have an advantage because typically they come into the game for an inning at a time, sometimes, oftentimes less. But, so when you stretch it out the way Takahashi is here today, opposing hitters get a lot of looks at him, whether it's their own at-bats, having multiple at-bats against him, or just watching the sequence of pitches he uses against other hitters.
Ground ball to third. Gonzalez, strong throw. Mariners get the lead with 3 runs. It's 6-4 in the 8th. Cubs' final home game here at Ho-Ho-Com Park / Stadium. Interesting array of old-time caps in the Ho-Ho-Com room. Baseballs and gloves. It's a museum.
Gold gloves.
Yeah. Come join NBC5 meteorologist Cheryl Scott at the ballpark Thursday, April 18th for a special presentation on the impact weather has on baseball. This program, geared for students, will take place shortly before the gates open at 11:20 a.m. A weather activity booklet will be included with your ticket purchase. For more information or to purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com/special events. See if the Cubs can come back here over the final couple of at-bats. Trailing 6-4, Carter Capps is now pitching. And he slings it in there for a strike.
Got a little funk going on, doesn't he?
He was their minor league pitcher of the year last year. And he's had a good spring.
Deception in that delivery. Looks like he hides the ball very well. Slings it up there from that low 3/4 arm angle.
One and two on Clevenger. Behind second, it's the new shortstop, Chris Taylor.
Taylor was shading Clevenger towards the middle a little bit and gobbles it up. And one quick out.
A strike on Brett Jackson.
A little hair on that fastball, too.
So Capps will be in that Mariners bullpen. Slicing drive, Brett Jackson, foul.
And slicing being the operative word, because off the bat it looked like that was going to be extra bases for Jackson, but that slice just bending it beyond the third base foul line.
According to Fangraphs, Carter Capps' fastball averaged 98.3 last year.
Wow.
So funk and velocity.
Yeah.
It's a good combination.
Only been pitching professionally for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Starter in college.
Miller in foul territory, 2 down.
Made the move to the bullpen and got a pretty good power arm.
We have a pinch hitter for Ty Wright, Jae-Hoon Ha.
Ha is from South Korea. Played last year at AA Tennessee. Hit .273 there with 6 home runs.
We've seen him in sporadic big league games the last couple of spring trainings, coming over here from minor league camp. He was a non-roster invitee, in fact, last year. Cubs trail 6-4. The Mariners got 3 runs in the top of this 8th inning to retake the lead.
Ha's just 22 years of age. He's been playing in the Cubs system since 2009. Career .279 hitter. Oh, that's nasty.
And that's a curveball. 84 miles an hour. 6-4 Mariners.
The 96-game packs offer you the chance to secure seats for the biggest games of the season with the flexibility of choosing the games you'd like to see. For more information, visit Cubs.com/packs.
More changes now for the home team. Ha stays in to play left. And Sean Camp is on for the Cubs. Remember, he was with the Mariners in spring training last year. Got released, signed with the Cubs, and then tied for the major league lead with 80 appearances.
A very solid year for the veteran right-hander.
Chris Taylor with a blue pit.
Just a little flare, but still a good job by Taylor of trying to go, willing to go the other way with that ball. And Camp, one of those guys who loves to sink the fastball, tries to get you to beat it into the ground, and he keeps the hands inside, and that's what allows him to flip that ball into shallow right field for a leadoff single. Well, we got a bog call from home plate umpire. Not sure what he did. Neither is the Cubs dugout. They're looking for an explanation.
All right. Fucking save it. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking retarded.
I didn't really see it. Did you?
I'm not sure. No, I didn't see it either. Spring training, I think the umpires just have to work on their balk call.
Want to know on Saunders. He's gone the distance in that leadoff spot.
Like that old deal about the police have to issue so many tickets, so if they haven't, by the end of the month they don't have their quota up, they got to start writing tickets. So he's probably low in his box for spring training. Had to check that box.
The balk box.
The balk box.
Giancarlo Amaya now playing second, and he throws out Saunders. All right, how about this? Garth Brooks, back on March 22nd, 1999, the country star went 0 for 2 with an error in left field for the San Diego Padres as a non-roster invitee.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. 14 years ago here at Hohokam.
At the time, Garth was involved with Major League Baseball doing some charity work, if memory serves.
Yes, that sounds right. Infield in as Miller takes a strike.
Villanueva started it today. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, only one of which was earned. Then Takahashi, 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs allowed. He didn't walk anybody. Mostly good from Takahashi. Ran into a little trouble there. More than a little trouble. Gave up a 3 spot in the 8th.
Swing and a miss. So Camp gets Miller.
Big breaking ball here from Camp. Gets Miller to swing over the top of it. And Camp, more of a contact type guy, but with a man on third base and 1 out. Once you get the jump on a hitter, you're hoping to put him away, keep the ball out of play. And Camp dials up a nice breaking ball to get the punch out.
Oh, good slider for a strike.
It was this guy who got it started in the 8th with that little flare to right field for a base hit. Sugar.
0-2. And he got him. 3 straight sliders from Sean Camp. So they strand a man at third. Last chance for the Cubs in their final Cactus League game of the spring. 6-4 Mariners. GMC Professional Grade Player of the Game. We're going to give it to Brett Jackson for helping giving the Cubs the lead in the 6th inning. Excellent base running on 2 different occasions.
And realizing that this ball was going to stay in the park and be caught in very deep center field, he scrambles back to tag and advance to get himself into scoring position. Then a ground ball to the third sacker, who doesn't make him commit to go back to the bag aggressively enough, and he takes advantage and hustles on over to third and then comes home on the errant throw.
That's how you do it. GMC Professional Grade Player of the Game. So the Cubs trail by 2. Tyler Burgoon is on for Seattle. And Wellington Castile will lead it off. Base hit into left.
Burgoon channeling that fastball right over the heart of the plate. Castillo jumps all over it. Why wait when you're getting that good to swing at early?
Alberto Gonzalez. And in there for a strike. Chased a bad one, 0-2. Burgoon, a former Wolverine, born in Toledo and attended the University of Michigan. Pitched at High A, High Desert last year.
It's a tough league to pitch in, Cal League. Punched out 80 in 63 innings.
Valley Caps.
Gonzalez stays alive, 1-2.
Hayes, your Marquette club, are they playing tonight?
You know, they're playing either today or tomorrow. I haven't checked the schedule.
Ooh, you're going to lose your alumni card.
I know. Terrible. Well hit to left. And it will be caught on the warning track. And it looked like Chavez was going to catch it the whole time, but fans got excited.
Anything in the air with a little authority, you start to wonder here in Phoenix. Didn't quite get enough of this one to get out. It just drifted in a little bit, got under it.
Yeah, Marquette's game is later this evening.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Pulling for you.
It's Miami. Get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the Cubs with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, the Cubs.com shop. I'm not sure we'll be able to watch the tournament on our flight to Houston, but I'll remind all my Twitter followers, just don't tweet anything about the Marquette game, okay? I may have to watch it on tape next week. So
yeah, good luck staying away from that news for a week. Yeah, the national championship will be over with, and I wonder how my boys did.
In the Sweet 16.
Just going to go to a complete vacuum.
Here's a 2-1, and Sapelt pops it up. No play over there for Tenbrink.
Good aggressive swing there by Sapelt at that four-seam fastball. Just couldn't quite get the head out in front. Two strikes, the thinking changes a little bit. Going to be a little bit more defensive. Theoretically.
This one might be playable. Foul territory again. And a nice grab by Andino. Waist-high basket catch, Robert Andino.
Yeah, I had my money on the ball there. That looked like the ball that was going to fall harmlessly foul. But Andino hanging in there. Finds the stance. Yells off his teammate. Stretches out and puts it away. So not quite sure how much room he had as he started to slam on the brakes.
So 2 outs, and Alcantara, who has tripled, grounded out, walked. Getting the start at short, and in the 9 spot, runner goes, bounce to first. This will do it. Tenbrink unassisted, and the Mariners have beaten the Cubs 6-4 the final as the Cubs say so long to Ho-Ho-Com Stadium. We'll be back here playing the A's in a couple of years, but the Cubs will move into their brand new facility next spring. Our next game here on Comcast Sportsnet. Wednesday night, the Cubs take on the Pirates. Game 2 of the regular season. Edwin Jackson will pitch for the Cubs. 6 o'clock Central here on CSN. For JD, Jim Angio, Michelle Godwin, Chris Kampka, Mark Harper, our senior executive producer of events, Jim Cornell Jr., Len Casper saying so long, everybody, from Arizona.